Hey everyone, this is Mike from the Comic Book Trove, back today with another book review, and today I'm going to be taking a little break from discussing omnibus editions on the channel. Not for long though, so don't worry about that if you're an omnibus fan and you like my videos on those. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different today, and I was looking through my collection trying to kind of figure out what I could talk about next. And this one drew my eye. I think it's certainly quite different to books I've discussed in the past on the channel. Firstly, it's not a Marvel or DC book, and it's not really a superhero book. In fact, it doesn't really have any kind of supernatural elements to it whatsoever. I'm talking, of course, about Danger Girl, which is a series from the late 90s, created by J. Scott Campbell and Andy Hartnell, and is collected in this pretty cool, I have to say, nice-looking oversized deluxe edition from IDW. Now, it's a paperback. It's oversized, but not a hardcover, which is a little bit unusual. Normally, oversized books tend to be hardcovers, but yeah, still a very nice looking book. That's by no means a huge problem that it's not a hardback, even though I do generally kind of go for hardback editions, which you're probably not surprised to hear if you follow my channel for any amount of time. But yeah, you know, I don't have anything against paperback books. It's just that they don't tend to be my first choice. But when there's a nice series that I'm interested in collected in a cool looking book like this, then I'll go for it. So that's exactly what happened here. So Danger Girl, and what is it? So it's kind of like, I suppose the best, or at least the simplest way I could explain it, if you don't know anything about it, is that this whole series, this concept is kind of like, what might you get if you crossed Charlie's Angels, James Bond, and Indiana Jones all together? The outcome would probably be a series a lot like Danger Girl. And I think that's very much what they were going for, and not something that they were trying to keep secret in any way. They're very upfront about what it is and what it's meant to be. Another cool thing, or for me even probably the coolest thing about this book, is that it features full interior artwork by J. Scott Campbell. And if you're familiar with him, really, then for a long time now, probably 20 years, he's been almost exclusively, I think, a cover artist. So just drawing the covers for, you know, variants of Marvel, DC comics, etc. Only really early on in his career did he do any interior artwork. And even then, not a whole lot. So this is really quite a rare example of it overall. And then, you know, both Campbell and Hartnell collaborated on the story with scripting by Andy Hartnell. And yeah, so you jump right in here with a little prologue that sets the story up. And for me, I'm just going to say straight away, it's very much the artwork that's the biggest appealing factor about this book to me. You know, I am a pretty big J. Scott Campbell fan. I think he's got a really cool style, and it's on full show here without a doubt. You know, it's very easy on the eye. So Danger Girl is the name of the team, which the main character we've seen introduced here, Abby Chase being her name, ends up joining. So she kind of joins this secret team. They're a secret kind of small scale operation who, I don't really know, they just kind of do spy stuff. It's not really much more complicated than that. You get this cool opening kind of credits page as well, which is, I think, very much clearly heavily inspired by those sorts of opening credit montages from James Bond films, like classic Bond films. Yeah, and then you're introduced to the team, and you know, with this being drawn by Campbell, probably no surprise whatsoever that all the women are very much presented in this kind of beautiful, sexy way throughout. Absolutely stunning visually, no doubt. And each of them have kind of got these their own kind of specialties. You know, so you've got Natalia Castle, Silicon Valerie, Sydney Savage, and Abby Chase, who's really the main character and the new recruit into the team. You're getting a lot of sort of beautiful, sort of risque, sexy artwork throughout here. Not something that bothers me whatsoever. If that's something you're into, yeah, I think this is probably a series worth checking out. If it's not your thing, again, something to keep in mind. Maybe it might irritate you. I always like to point that out because obviously we've all got our own tastes, things we enjoy or things that annoy us, etc. But yeah, so this whole thing, it's very fast-paced action story, you know, bullets are flying, explosions everywhere. You've got Danger Girl, the team, I mean, kind of getting involved, sort of in over their heads, quickly discovering a kind of evil scheme by an evil organization who, would you believe it, want to rule the world, or at least something generic like that. Yeah, so it's kind of up to them to save the day, and you've got all kinds of twists and turns along the way. You've got political backstabbing, you've got people double-crossing each other, and yeah, just this kind of stunning artwork all along the way. So you can't really go wrong if you're into that kind of sort of light-hearted, fun, easy read, which is how I'd describe it, really. You know, it's not something that's going to require much effort or thought to be able to understand and enjoy it. I don't mean that as a criticism whatsoever, because sometimes it's exactly the sort of thing you're in the mood to read. And it's something that I enjoy having a flick through and reading now and then, which you know, I've done throughout the years. It's just you know, sometimes you just want to take a break from, for example, superhero comics, which is what I read and enjoy first and foremost, but every now and then you want to check out something different, which is, I think, why I picked this up in the first place. When I first got this, well, it was the fact that J. Scott Campbell illustrated it all. I think that really sold me on it. But just the story concept sounded pretty fun, and I wasn't let down. You know, if you go in here just expecting a kind of fun story, not something that takes itself seriously really in any way, it knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't pretend to be anything other than that. It's yeah, for me, it's all fun. Really, I always loved these images here. Really cool. Just J. Scott Campbell, honestly, he's a fantastic artist. Really love his style. I wish he had drawn more interior stuff over the years. I know that it's not what he enjoys doing, and he's found he's found what he's best at, really, I suppose. What suits him best, anyway, in being a cover artist, and fair play to him for that. Clearly, it's what he wants to do, but man, I wish he would just draw some comics now and then. I don't even care what. I just wish he'd do something. I don't care if it takes him ages to draw a full series. I just wish he'd do something, you know, because I just really love this. I mean, this is like 20 odd years old now, 23, 24 years old, and it still just makes me wish he'd done more stuff. I think there is an absolute edition of this as well. So this is oversized, but I think there's an absolute edition, which obviously is bigger still. But that's very out of print. I think even this edition is out of print now. I don't actually know if there's a book available at the moment collecting this material physically, which kind of sucks, if it's something that you want to check out. But, you know, hopefully maybe this book or another edition collecting the same material will be reprinted, or even a hardback. You know what, I'd love this to be a hardback, just an oversized book, same scale as this, but a hardback edition. You know, just to cycle back and just say that I don't have any problems having it in paperback. I think it's very cool. But yeah, I would certainly upgrade it to a hardback edition if they did one. But we'll see. I don't know how popular this book is, to be honest. I mean, this series in general, I think it's a pretty niche thing. It's not something you really see talked about. I mean, that's a reason why I wanted to cover it in a way, just because I don't really see it get mentioned anywhere, really, very often at all. Probably can count on my hands the number of times that I've ever seen it talked about online in videos, well, maybe not so much in videos, but in forums, etc., where people are discussing comics that they enjoy. This doesn't come up too often, which, well, I mean, understandably, it's not one of the all-time best runs. I'm not saying it is, but I think it's worth a mention. You get a cover gallery at the back, so there is a nice set of bonus features. Again, just beautiful artwork, really. You know, it's bad guys and sexy spies, I suppose. That's like a tagline they could have used for this series. And even some sketches at the back as well. sketches and there are some little interviews throughout here as well. Yeah, a really cool book though, honestly. Especially, just to reiterate yet again, as a J. Scott Campbell fan, for me it's just fantastic. And I hope, I hope it's something that you can get your hands on if it's something you're interested in. But yeah, really cool. So yeah, not a super complicated story, really, not a particularly long review, shorter than most of my others, but then again, you know, that's not necessarily a negative thing. I'm just saying that this book, something worth checking out if you're into something that's, again, just a light-hearted bit of fun, and yeah, definitely if you enjoyed J. Scott Campbell artwork. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this and checking out the video and the book. Let me know if it's something that you enjoy or something you maybe want to check out. As always, happy to chat about comics in the comments, and yeah, otherwise I'll be back again soon with another video. Thanks again, guys.